Hey everybody, blessings. Welcome to the channel. I'm Dane, your host of the Rock and Metal Guardian. I hope you're doing well wherever you may find yourselves, and welcome to another episode of Faceoff Friday, where I pit two albums against each other to see who reigns supreme. Sometimes they're two albums in the same discography. Sometimes they're two albums from two different bands or artists. Now, as you saw from the thumbnail, we have Deep Purple and Uriah Heep. These are so worth comparing and contrasting because they're both comeback albums. You have Deep Purple with Perfect Strangers coming back from a bit of a stretch after breaking up after Come Taste the Band. And then you have Abominog, which I think is a comeback album because most people will agree. Most people that Conquest with John Sloman on vocals is pretty much a very poor album. And that album appears after the Lawton trilogy, and you get that, and then you finally get Abominog. So here are the two albums. I'm going to talk about Deep Purple first, and then Abominog. So let's get started. Now, the first song on Perfect Strangers is one of the hits of the two, and that is Knocking at Your Back Door. I think the guitar, the last minute and a half or thereabouts, is the classical Deep Purple sound with respect to Ritchie Blackmore's guitar tone. It's what you expect, and he delivers. And for the album, for the most part, he does deliver that classic Ritchie Blackmore Deep Purple guitar tone that you know and love. Now, for this song, the lyrics leave a little bit to be desired because it's a little quirky, it's a little odd, it's a little hokey with Because She Was a Samurai. But other than that, I would give the song a very good. The next song, of course, is Under the Gun. This is a song I really like. The guitar sounds like the first and second album with Rainbow a bit, I think, on this track. For good or for ill, I would argue for good. I do like what I'm hearing. It just takes me back to those Rainbow days when Dio was in the band. Of course, you got Ian Gillan on vocals. The third song, a little bit more of a touch of Rainbow here because the intro to Nobody's Home has a brief but likable stargazer feel or vibe to it, but it doesn't last, and that's a little disappointing, but I do like the song quite a bit. The fourth song is one of those just okay songs, Mean Streak, a little cliched title, think of Y&T, right? But I do like the guitar solo, so that elevates the song a little bit, just a tad bit above just okay, so I guess I would call this a good song. Next, of course, is the wonderful true gem of the album, the title track, Perfect Strangers. The John Lord intro, the Hammond organ just gives us goosebumps, right? Well, at least it gives me goosebumps. It doesn't get old. It's just one of those wow moments in rock history. And I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, yeah, boy, Deep Purple is definitely back. And I also remember listening to it. Oh, well, I've listened to this album so many times, but I remember one specific moment when I was working in selling music CDs at the Music Land in Baton Rouge in the Cortana Mall, and one of my colleagues and friends surprised me. He put the cell on as we're opening the store and thereabouts, and because we could open things and play them in the store, and him and I looked at each other and he goes, "Oh yeah, this is the Deep Purple we know and love, right?" And it is. Again, the true gem of the album. So I would say this is a 10 out of 10 song. Number 6, Gypsy's Kiss. This also has a Rainbow feel to it. You have a great guitar solo from Ritchie. You have a great John Lord solo as well. And you have a great guitar outro from Ritchie. This is a very good song. I do like Gypsy's Kiss quite a bit. Now, Wasted Sunsets is a little bit of a falling off, or a bit of a falling off, I should say. It's a mediocre song. Although I do like Ritchie's bluesy / neoclassical hybrid solo. It's bluesy, and yet you have that neoclassical style that we know from Ritchie. So it elevates the song a little bit as well, but it doesn't elevate it as much as the fourth song, Mean Streak, for whatever reason. But so essentially what I'm saying is you can skip the rest of the song and just dive right into the solo and call it a day and move on to the next song. Number 8, which is Hungry Days. This is also a mediocre song. Even the guitar solo is just okay. Number 9 is Not Responsible. I think this is the weakest track on the album. This is very mediocre. barely worthy of calling it just okay. It just seems to go nowhere. It's monotonous, so not much to like with this song, I think. And then number 10, the great epic instrumental Son of Alaric. I love the song, bonus track. The guitar tone here, I think, fits right in or on the Stormbringer album. If you listen to the Stormbringer album, there's some wonderful bluesy guitar coming out of Richie's Strat, and it sounds very, very much like the same tone and vibe and mood, especially tone, that you get on that Stormbringer album. I think it's dynamite. I think this is an underrated gem. Yeah, it's an instrumental, but it's just so great. 10 minutes and 7 seconds of pure instrumental bliss, if you will. All right, so let's move on to Abominog. Okay, also a comeback album, as I said. Now, what's interesting about this album is you got a nice mixture of both heavy tracks and AOR type ballady melodic rock songs. So the opening track is a heavy song. It's dynamite. Too Scared to Run, I think, is just phenomenal. When I first heard this, I was like, oh yeah, Uriah Heep is definitely back. This is so much better than Conquest. And even some of the Lawton stuff, although I do like the Lawton stuff for the most part better than the Golby era. And Golby comes over from Trapeze, and he has, at least to my ears, and other people have said this as well, I think that he has, whether deliberate or not, that Golby sounds a bit like Lou Gramm of Foreigner. Anyway, so Too Scared to Run is amazing. Chasing Shadows. By the way, you also have, I think, half of the tracks on this album, 10 songs, are cover tunes, but they work. I like them all. All the tracks on here I like. So Chasing Shadows, I think, is a solid tune. Is it a great song? No, but it is a good, solid tune. Next is On the Rebound. When I first heard this, I was not impressed, but over time it grew on me, and this is a song I've grown to love. So On the Rebound, I would say it's a good song, if not a very good song. Hot Night in a Cold Town, I think this is a wonderful song. Golby is, on the whole album, Golby is delivering, or rather I should say, Golby is just singing his guts out, his lungs out. He's just amazing. He's a great talent. Too bad he couldn't stay with the band longer, and too bad that they went the direction they did on Equator, which is just an 80s nightmare, at least in my opinion. But this album, I'm very fond of, as I said. So Hot Night in a Cold Town, I think, is a very good song. Very captivating, emotive, gravitational pull, and pulling on your heartstrings or your emotional strings, if you will. Running All Night with the Lion, also a song at first that I didn't care much for, but it also grew on me. I do like it. It is catchy. I do like it, as I said. Six is amazing. That's the way that it is. This is one of the gems on this album. It is not heavy, but heavy in the sense that it pulls you in and never it takes hold of you emotionally and never lets you go. I guess you could say some of the guitar is heavy, but other than that, it's more of a ballady or power or monster ballad type song, a slower song, not a heavy rocker. In similar fashion, Prisoner, also a great emotive, grabs hold of you, never lets you go, emotive monster ballad or slow song that has its heavy moments, but overall it's more of a slow, non-heavy rocker. But what a tune, what a great song. So far, Too Scared to Run, That's the Way That It Is, and Prisoner are my three favorite songs, and they are. I'll just tell you that now. Hot Persuasion, probably my least favorite song on the album, but I do like it. It is a good song, not a very good song, but a good song. Sell Your Soul is the heaviest, ninth track is the heaviest song on the album, maybe alluding to the album cover. This makes me think of the short story The Monkey's Paw. But anyway, what a great heavy song from the band. Probably one of their heaviest, if not heaviest songs of all time. And then you get the wonderful ballad-like Think It Over, which is a reworking of, I think, an outtake, or maybe it is on the album Conquest, I forget. But Think It Over is just an amazing, slow, ballady, emotive, pull at your emotions type song that I just love. And of the two, Deep Purple is my favorite of the two bands, but It is no contest, and this is the clear winner for me. Because on this album, there are 4 songs that are mediocre, 5 I really love, 1 that I would argue is good, but the other 4 or 5 I love, and then the rest, Hungry Days, Not Responsible, Wasted Sunsets, and Mean Streak, leave a lot more to be desired. They're just not on par with the rest of the better songs. But here, everything on here, I love. There are times, most of the time rather, when I listen to this, I will skip tracks. Now, I will skip tracks sometimes on here, and it's not because I don't like the songs or they're mediocre. It's because I want to hear Too Scared to Run. I want to hear That's the Way That It Is. I want to hear Prisoner. I want to hear Think It Over. And then I'll go back and listen to the rest of the album. So I'll play this album most of the time, the whole thing, but I'll play it out of sequence. Sometimes I will play it in sequence. Rarely do I listen to the whole thing because of what I said. So anyway, some people are going to lambaste me because I put this album ahead of this one, but hey, it's the way I feel. For me, it's a no contest. This is the clear choice. This is the clear winner. This is the best of the 2 comeback albums. Don't forget to hit that notification button if you're so inclined to keep abreast of upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching. Take care now. God bless.